What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be telling you about how I was left with a dead Corvette in the middle of the street on like the busiest road in town during the worst traffic. Like, it was bad. It was real bad. Horrible. Embarrassing. So to give you all just a bit of a backstory, the car had been having some starting issues and actually stalled on me a few times, usually when it was at a really low rev. So I'd been troubleshooting it on my weekends free, and I started cleaning all the grounds on the engine bay of my Corvette, usually in C5s. That's the most common place for electrical problems because it's not the best electrically engineered product. Anyways, I wound up changing the alternator, especially after I measured the voltage drop across from the battery to the alternator on the car, and this was kind of a band-aid fix. I don't know if it just kind of switched things up, but it seemed to ran fine for about another 3 or 4 days. And then after that 3 or 4 days is when the problems really started. Keep in mind that at this point I'm almost $200 into this fix, and I'm still thinking the car's running fine, so you run what you brung. But I was on my lunch break when the car just died completely out. I had no electrical power whatsoever. The car wouldn't turn over, the radio didn't work. I had no electrical pulse from the car. So after having to push the car off the road and into a parking lot in uniform, just so you know, which is super embarrassing, I got it into the parking lot, disconnected the battery, disconnected the grounds. I just kind of let everything sit for a while. Well, fast forward to the next day, I'd been talking to some of my Corvette friends, and they're all telling me that's probably my PCM. And after doing some research on the Corvette Forums, I was starting to think that that was my problem, because my symptoms were lining up pretty closely with all the problems that everybody else had with their PCM. But I'd gotten in contact with a few really helpful guys that really know their shit about electronics and Corvettes, and they were telling me that was the ignition switch, and that if I cycled the switch about 20 times, that I should be able to get it running enough to at least get it back home. Well, sure enough, when I got to the car in the parking lot, I cycled the key about 20 times, which is supposed to clean the contacts on the ignition switch, and then I got it home enough to tear it apart and really start looking into the problem. So getting to the ignition switch on the C5 really isn't a problem. It's pretty easy. You just have to take out the center console, the waterfall, and the driver's side kick panel. So it's just a bunch of plastic trim hiding it away, and then it has 2 bolts that hold it on. And after I got it off, I took it back to my room, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Real quick guys, right before we move on, I just wanted to apologize for the poor audio quality. I have a new setup for my desktop with a real microphone, so my audio quality is much better, at least inside. I'm still kind of struggling for a microphone setup for my iPhone on a gimbal, but let's go ahead and move on. And then what I'm doing here is, this is the bad ignition switch that came out of the car. I've cleaned this one up a little bit already, but it was pretty bad when I took it out initially. It had been burnt up on all these little fixed contacts here, these little square ones. They were covered in soot. So what I've done is I just took some regular sandpaper here. This is 1000 grit, and then we'll finish it off with a sheet of some 2000 grit here. Some real light sanding paper just to get the crap off, because I don't want to gouge them or anything. Try to get this to focus. But if you can kind of see, these ones here on the left, these look really shiny, and they don't really look like they've been used. So that's how they're supposed to look. And then the ones on the right, you can kind of tell are a little bit more dirty, but like I said, it's nowhere near as bad as it was when I first took it out. And there's some write-ups on the Corvette Forums I'll link down in the description, because they're super helpful and they'll really walk you through doing all this. But I'm going to finish cleaning this up, and then we're going to take it into the car, and hopefully it's going to start now. And this is the car as it sits. It looks extremely pathetic, but you have to take off all the center console trim just to get right back to the ignition switch, which is right up here. It sits in here with these 2 bolts holding it in, a bunch of electrical connectors that come out the back. My plan is to put in that old one that I've cleaned up, and hopefully the car will turn over. Like I said, I do have the new one coming, but it sucks that it's not going to be here till probably Monday. I don't really want to be without a car this weekend, so let's give this a try. Alright, so I've connected everything up. Back, that is an electrical connector. I rehooked the negative terminal on the battery. So, let's see if this works. Okay, that's a good sign. Oh. Let's get rid of that. Turn that off. And a cool little thing about the DIC on the C5s is if you go to gauges here and you scroll through until you find your battery voltage here. So this is the battery voltage. This isn't your battery. If you go measure your battery with your meter right now, it's going to read probably 12 to 13, but this is what the car sees as far as battery voltage goes. And one of the symptoms of a bad ignition switch is if you turn your car on, all your lights are dim and something obviously seems out of the normal. Well, you go to your gauges right here and you flip to till you find your battery volts, and mine was reading 4 volts. So there's obviously something wrong there. I guess let's go ahead and try to start it. Fuck yeah. All right. Fuck yes. We're gonna go ahead and let it warm up and get up to temperature, and wow, do I even know English? Temperature, and we'll go from there. Well guys, I think this is where I'm going to wrap it up. I want to send out a huge thank you to both Bill and Rob from the Corvette Forums for all their help. Without their guidance, who knows how much I will have spent at the local Chevy dealership. Yeah, that brings me to my next point also. no matter what kind of car you guys drive, I really hope you guys are on the forum, because there's a wealth of knowledge there, and any problem that you're going to have with your car has probably already been solved. And so on that good note, I think I'm going to end this. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you next time.